Namaskaram. Good morning. In the first episode yesterday, you have seen how to utilize natural farming name in the place of Subhash Palekar Kushi is unconstitutional. They are telling the lie. They are misguiding the nation. They are misguiding the farmers also. Because natural farming is not existed in the entire world as a model. So it is a fraud. If anything is not existed in the entire world, but it is utilized, then it is a fraud. It is a fraud. Yesterday we have seen not only Subhash Palekar Kushi, but in all existing technologies in agriculture sector, cultivation is essential. Cultivation is done, but in the nature there is no cultivation. How Subhash Palekar Kushi is natural? In Subhash Palekar Kushi, there is a seed sowing, transplanting of the seedling. In the nature, there is no seed sowing, there is no transplanting of the seedling. How Subhash Palekar is natural, Kushi is natural? That is the question. In Subhash Palekar Kushi, irrigation is done. In the nature, there is no irrigation. There is no human-made irrigation, only rain-fed. Then how they can claim that Subhash Palekar Kushi is natural? In Subhash Palekar Kushi, hoeing, weeding, intercultural operations are done to control the weeds. But in the nature, there is no weed control. There are not any intercultural operations. No hoeing, no weeding, nothing. Weeds are not removed in the nature. But in Subhash Palekar Kushi, weeds are removed. Then how they can claim that Subhash Palekar Kushi is natural? In Subhash Palekar Kushi, Bijamrutam is utilized. In nature there is no Bijamrutam for seed treatment. In Subhash Palekar Kushi, Ghana Jivamrutam are utilized. In the nature there is no Ghana Jivamrutam and Jivamrutam, human made, which is utilized as external input in the forest. No. In the nature, no. Then how can I claim that Subhash Palekar Kushi is natural? In Subhash Palekar Kushi, we harvest the crop. In nature, there is no harvesting. There is no harvesting. How they can claim that Subhash Palekar Kushi is natural? In Subhash Palekar Kushi, the wild animals are controlled by the wall. Maybe live fencing or maybe human-made fencing. But in the nature, there is no fencing. Open. Every animal can come, eat and go. That means how Subhash Parekar Kushi is natural. In Subhash Parekar Kushi, Jivamrutam space schedule is done, but in the nature there is no space schedule of any insecticide, fungicide, nothing. Then how Subhash Parekar Kushi is natural? That is the question. That means Subhash Parekar Kushi is not natural because what the inputs are utilized in the Subhash Parekar Kushi technology are not existed in the nature. So give the name natural farming to Subhash Parekar Kushi is 100% wrong. It is a crime because it is unconstitutional, because they are telling lie. And to tell lie is not constitutional. There is no any article in the Constitution of India which will approve you to tell lie. No, not at all. But you are telling lie. That means you are telling unconstitutionally. You are not capable to continue on the constitutional post because your behavior is unconstitutional. And to tell lie is not a spirituality. But to tell the truth is spirituality. So also you are giving the natural which is not existed in the nature. And so also you are utilizing that word again and again. That means you are telling lie. And to telling lie is not spirituality. That means you are not spiritual. Second thing is that natural farming. Which natural farming? There are so many agricultural technologies which are called natural farming. Dr. Masanobu Fukuoka, he was an entomologist in Japan University. During the Second World War, when there was a food security problem was created in Japan, there was not enough food to eat, to feed to Japanese people. So how to utilize the insect as a food, there was a project. And that project was given to the Dr. Masanobu Fukuoka. And during his research work, he has studied the nature and he devised one technology. He has given Fukuoka natural farming. Dr. Masanobu Fukuoka, when came in India and he heard about my articles and my research work, at that time I was at Pune as the editor, a famous agriculture magazine, Balli Raja. I was editor there. My continuous articles were published, and throughout Maharashtra, North Karnataka, Goa, and South Gujarat, and some part of Madhya Pradesh were reading, who are Marathi speaking, reading people, were reading my articles. It was very popular. So when Dr. Masanobu Fukuoka came, then in the residence of Bhaskar Savi Guruji, in the southern part of the Gujarat, in his village, Dr. Masano Fukuoka, myself and Savi Guruji were present 2 day continuous meeting. Continuous meeting. We had done lot of discussions. He was having an interpreter. He was interpreting from English into Japanese. In Japanese into English. So there was no problem in the discussion, during discussion. So afterward, Fukuoka said that there was a 12-year waiting period to get the success in his orange orchard by this technology. What is the Fukuoka technology? Do nothing. Nothing to be done. Nothing to be done. No weeding, weed control, nothing. As it is, where to. But he was utilizing poultry in his orchard, so that hence poultry can eat the insect and feed the soil by excreta. That was his technology, and he was giving name natural. When Fukuoka technology were adopted by us as a trial, and we found there is no result at all, because the weeds were overcome totally the crops, and crops were totally destroyed, suppressed by the weeds, because no weed control, nothing to be done. Great loss. To utilize poultry in the orchard, that is Fukuoka pattern. That is Fukuoka pattern. In the nature, there is no poultry utilized. In the nature, dense forest, there is no poultry is utilized to feed the soil by excreta. That means this is totally unnatural. So what claims are done by Fukuoka that he is farming is natural? No, it is not natural, it is unnatural. But name is continued now. Then question is arise, which natural? Subhash Palekar natural farming? Yeah. Masanobu Fukuoka natural farming, which natural? It should be clarified. But nobody is clarified. No. Confusions are totally enhanced continuously. No clarity at all. In the Government of India extension system, no clarity. There is a great confusion in the mind of the officers and all, scientists. Third one, Bhaskar Save Guruji. In the southern part of the Gujarat, Umbargaon Tahsil, Valsad Jilla, Jawaharnagar village, Bhaskar Save Guruji, retired teacher, was practicing in his farm, and that technology he has given natural. I was an editor at Pune at the time for 3 years. At the time, Bhaskar Save Guruji was coming in Pune, and Bhaskar Save Guruji and myself were close friends. We were continually discussing about the problems and solutions. Later on, we have decided take one live interview of Bhaskar Save Guruji. Myself and editor both have decided, Prabhakara Bhakti. Then I went his home, his village. I resided there 3 days. I have taken his interview and I have seen what he is utilizing. In his Bhaskar Save's Saputa orchard, he was utilizing the waste of the material of nearest industry. And that was utilized as a mulching. Because it is a medicinal residues, penicillin industry, and that penicillin industry residues were medicinal residues. He was utilizing as a mulching in the orchard. In the nature, there is no penicillin residues are utilized. So Bhaskar Save Guruji's technology is not natural because it is not utilized in the nature. In the wheat crop, Bhaskar Save Guruji was utilizing cow dung manure. I have seen. And in his interview, he has mentioned also, lot of time. And we have a interview today also. That means, number one, he was utilizing the penicillin medicine industry waste as a mulching in his orchard. In the nature, there is no mulching of any penicillin industry residues. So it is unnatural, it is not natural, his technology is not natural. And he was utilizing cow dung manure in his wheat and other crops, kharif rabi. So in the nature there is no utilization of the cow dung manure. So it is unnatural, it is not a natural. So Bhaskar Save Guruji technology is not natural, it is 100% true. 100% true. Then question is arise, why is natural? Why is natural farming? Subhash Palekar natural farming, Bhaskar Save Guruji natural farming, or Masanoku Fukuoka natural farming. Why is natural farming? Confusion is intensifying again and again. There is no clarity in the system of the government. All officers and their scientists are totally confused. I have seen. No clarity, no clarity. No clarity. Another technology is also well utilized as a natural farming. Cow-based farming, in which cow dung manure is utilized. Now they are also started to give the name natural farming. Promoter of indigenous cow-based farming, which is based on cow dung manure, now started when you have seen that 2,400 crore are allotted for the exposure promotion of Subhash Palekar Krishi, then they have stopped the Go Adhar Krishi and they have started now new name Prakriti Krishi, natural farming. In the nature, cow-based farming is not existed. Because in the nature, in the dense forest, God is not utilizing any cow dung manure in the dense forest. So also the numerous fruits are, you will see on the standing fruit crop. fruitful. When I studied this cow-based farming, Go Adhar Kushi, I have started my research work to find out. It was a comparative research work. If I want that much production per acre in cow-based farming, Go Adhar Kushi, which is given by the chemical farming, how much quantity of the cow dung manure we had to utilize. That was the point of my research work. I have started a large research work. Since 1 kg up to 600 kg and 1 ton up to 60 ton cow dung manure per acre. And at last I found if I want 20 quintal per acre production in cow-based farming, that means Go Adhar Kushi, based on cow dung manure, which is taken in chemical farming, 20 quintal per acre. If I want that much quantity, 20 quintal per acre production in cow-based farming, then I have to utilize 20 cartloads of the FYM every year per acre. If that much quantity of the production given by chemical farming in cow-based farming, then it becomes my commitment to utilize per acre 20 cartloads of the farmyard manure, cow dung manure per acre every year. How it is possible? 20 cartload, that means 20,000 to 40,000 rupees price per acre every time. How it is possible? And if you want to get available 20 cartloads cow dung manure, you have to keep 10 cows, 10 local cows. How it is possible? If you have 5 acre land and you have to keep now 50 local cow, how it is possible? How you can maintain the fodder and all these things? It is totally nonsense. So, which technology, natural, Subhash Parekh Kushi natural farming, या मासानुको फोको का नेचुरल फार्मिंग, या भास्कर सावे गुरुजी नेचुरल फार्मिंग, या cow-based natural farming? Which natural farming? There was a question. They will clarify. Nobody is clarifying now. There is a great confusion in the mind of the officers, government officers and scientists, which are promoted to expand this Subhash Parekh Kushi throughout India. They are under totally confusion. And confusion intensifying again and again. No clarity. Satya. So, to give the name natural farming in the place of Subhash Parekh Kushi is totally wrong. When they utilize natural farming only name, that means they are misguiding the nation, they are misguiding the farmers, they are misguiding themselves also. This is the second point. Third point, now organic farming, when the promoter of organic farming movement leaders, when they read that 2,400 crore rupees are sanctioned for Subhash Palekar Kushi project in India, in the budget of Government of India, promoter of organic farming started to utilize natural farming. They have stopped organic farming utilization. Name organic farming stopped, and they started to utilize natural farming. It is a fraud, 100% fraud, because you are promoting compost, you are promoting vermicompost, biodynamic, Panchagavya, Dashagavya, Agnihotra, Gokrupamrutam, waste decomposer, all these are the part of the organic farming. And in Subhash Palekar Kushi, these inputs are not utilized. That means organic farming is totally different. Subhash Palekar Kushi is totally different. But after seeing this miracle figure, they have become upset, and now some of them have started, in the place of organic farming, now they have started to utilize natural farming. How they can claim? Because organic farming is not natural farming. Organic farming is a more dangerous than atom bomb. Organic farming is more dangerous than atom bomb. Atom bomb destroyed only 2 cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan. But organic farming destroyed the entire world. Organic farming is responsible for emitting huge quantity of the greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, which are responsible for global warming and climate change. Even the organic farming restricts the humus creation in the soil. So organic farming is responsible for destruction of the fertility and productivity of the soil. And organic farming are not giving the result to the farmers. Farmers are suffering by deficit. Even organic farming are having the poison. When anybody will feed himself by organically grown food, that means he is eating poisons in the form of poisonous heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and all other radioactive elements, which are very hazardous for human health. And organic farming inputs are giving the poison to the people. How we can compete? How we can say that organic farming is natural? How? There is no totally different factors, totally different. No relation between Subhash Palekar Kushi and organic. When I claim that organic farming is responsible to feed the poison to the people, it becomes my commitment to prove it scientifically. Sathiyo, what is happened? compost, vermicompost, biodynamic are the inputs of the organic farming. When you prepare compost, vermicompost, you are utilizing the waste of the agriculture, residues of the agriculture crops, which are actually chemically grown. Because in India, 99.99% agriculturists are following chemical farming. When you utilize chemical fertilizers and insecticides, the residues of chemical fertilizers and chemical insecticides are coming in the fodder, in the residues of the crop. And when you utilize these residues to prepare compost, vermicompost, ultimately residues, poisonous residues of the fertilizers and insecticides are coming in the compost and vermicompost also. And when you utilize compost, vermicompost on the surface of soil, even cow dung manure also, these residues are entering in the soil. The roots of the crop are absorbing these residues with the food intake, and they are coming in our food, and when we eat the food, chemically grown or organically grown, the poisonous residues are coming in our body as a toxic garbage. And when these residues are coming in our body, maybe residues of chemical fertilizers, maybe residues of chemical insecticides, maybe residues of biopesticides, maybe residues of weedicide, maybe residues of the hormones. All these are very poisonous, are coming in our food when we eat organic grown food. Even cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, which are heavily poisonous heavy metals, are coming in our food which is organically grown, and then these heavy metals are entering our body and deposited in the cells as a toxic garbage. Even radioactive elements, uranium, thorium, very hazardous, very dangerous, are coming in our body by means of the chemically grown food and organically grown food. And when these residues, poisonous residues, are coming in our body, are deposited in our cells, in our stomach, intestine, in our intestine, 60 lakh crore, that means 60 trillion cells are existed. In our intestine, total 60 lakh crore, in Indian figure 60 Padma, in English 60 trillion cells are existed in our intestine. 70% are immune cells, which are giving immunity, resistance power. Maybe white blood cells, maybe T lymphocyte cells, maybe B lymphocyte cells, mimexopyl and neutrophils. When these residues of chemically grown food, organically grown food, poisonous residues are deposited in our body, they destroy these immune cells. As a result, our immunity is lost or become weak. And when our immunity is become weak, ultimately we suffer by cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and all other deathful diseases. What we are doing? What we are doing? And they are comparing organic farming with the Subhash Palek Kushi. How? 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 That means when I claim that when you eat chemically grown and organically grown food, you accept in your body heavy poisonous residues of chemically fertilizers, insecticides, fungicides, weedicides, and also heavy metals just like cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and radioactive elements. Then it becomes my commitment to prove it scientifically. I will now give the details about some scientific research. Pulitzer Prize winner American journalist Duff Wilson had written one article in the Seattle Times on 7th July of 1997. And this report says chemical fertilizers are containing uranium and other radioactive elements in small quantity. This claim is not done by Subhash Palekar. This claim is done by Duff Wilson, who was a great scientist. Number 2. Between 1990 to 1995, fertilizer companies accepted that 271 million pounds of the toxic waste, including 69 types of the toxic materials found in fertilizers. And fertilizer companies accepted that 271 million pounds of the toxic waste, including 69 types of the toxic materials found in chemical fertilizers. And all these toxic waste which are coming in the chemical fertilizer, when these chemical fertilizers are utilized on the soil, ultimately is entered in the soil. The roots are coming in the food material. When we eat, ultimately it is coming in our body. What we are doing? What we are doing? What we are doing? This is my question. Number 3. Soil scientist John Mott Webb studied the toxic compounds in chemical fertilizer for 30 years. He had done research for 30 years. He confirmed that in 1996, 1,61,000 tons of the sludge from paper mills were utilized in fertilizer. The waste has cadmium and lead, heavy metal, very poisonous. Also, steel waste has zinc, lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, nickel, dioxin, and other toxins. Soil scientist John Mott Webb studied well for 30 years, and he confirmed that these heavy metals, zinc, lead, arsenic, cadmium, chromium, nickel, dioxin, and other toxins, and cadmium, lead also were present in the fertilizers. And when you utilize the fertilizer, they are coming in the soil. Soil become poisonous. Ultimately, roots are taking the residues coming in your food material. When we eat feed, coming in the body. Number 4. California Public Interest Research Group. California Public Interest Research Group is a group and Safe Food and Fertilizer Washington based organization examined chemical fertilizer and they found that 22 toxic materials in chemical fertilizer, 22 toxic materials like cadmium, heavy metal, poison heavy metal, arsenic, poison heavy metal, dioxin, poison heavy metals are coming from steel company in the West. You see what we are doing, Number 5. In 2012, in 2002, August Lawrence, R. Curtis, and Ben W. Smith found heavy metals in the fertilizers. Dr. R. Curtis, Dr. Ben V. Smith, and August Lawrence were found that heavy metals are existed in the fertilizer. Number 6. In 2012, Serpil Survey, assistant professor in biosystem engineering department in Bozok University in Turkey, wrote that chemical fertilizers are having majority of the heavy metals like cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, nickel, dioxins, chromium. All these are copper, nickel, natural radionuclides like uranium 238, thorium 232, and PO 210. These are the very heavily poisonous heavy metals which are coming in the food chain and which suffer by the diseases. 7. In 2007, Nicholas Zamiska and James Spencer reported in the Wall Street Journal that China was greatly troubled by toxic elements in the agricultural land and human food causing variable deathful diseases. In 2007, Nicholas Zamiska and James Spencer have taken the research work in China, what Chinese people are eating the food and what is the impact of that food on their body, and they have found that when they eat these toxic elements through the food, ultimately they suffer by variable deathful diseases. This survey has done by scientists, not by Subhash Palekar. 8. In 2012, Bayashte Karishma and Sharma Hari Prasad, Department of Environmental Science, Guwahati University, Assam, wrote that some fertilizers and pesticide contains various levels of heavy metals including cadmium, arsenic, and copper. 9. In 2012, the research report Biomed Research International D. Malaya Sapati, M. Vikram Reddy, and Soumya Prakash Dal found higher level of the concentration of the heavy metals in paddy soil near Kalappan, Tamil Nadu. Kalpakkam area, Tamil Nadu, where it is a rice belt, paddy belt. In the soil of the paddy, they have found all these heavy metals in large quantity. ultimately came through the chemical fertilizer and organic fertilizer, compost, vermicompost. In 2010, Dr. Hussein Kuri Manil, Dr. Abdul Salam AK, and Dr. Ratish Chandra, Department of Botany, Calicut University, Kerala, found high level of the toxic elements in fertilizer and insecticide. They have tested the fertilizer and insecticide in the laboratory. They have tested the residues in the soil. Ultimately, they found that the heavy metals and toxic elements are exist in fertilizer and insecticide. This is scientific proof. It is scientific proof. 11. Two scientists, Dr. Girish and Dr. Christensen, showed that from their research that this Acinetophytida, which is utilized for vermicompost, Acinetophytida worm have heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury in the body. In the body of Acinetophytida, which is utilized to prepare the vermicompost, they have found that in the body of the Acinetophytida, they have found arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury in the body. They have shown that from their research work that this Acinetophytida worm has 33 1 ppm lead, 670 ppm zinc in his body, in their body, because they are fed. When they fed the waste of the agriculture for preparing compost, vermicompost, ultimately they are coming in the body. Scientific research has shown that heavy metals contained in the Acinetophytida are directly proportional to the atomic weight of the soil. That means more the quantity of the vermicompost applied in the soil, that soil will be poisonous in that proportion. How much maximum quantity of the compost, vermicompost are utilized in the soil and cow dung manure also, ultimately our soil become that much quantity of the poisonous by these residues of the heavy metals and residues of the insecticides and fungicides and all the chemical fertilizers. 12. Three scientists, Dr. Christensen, Dr. Ireland, Dr. Van Hook, they have fed the Acinetophytida to some animals and birds, and they have found big amount of the heavy metals in their body cells. These scientists, what they have done? They have fed the Acinetophytida, that worm which is utilized for preparation of the vermicompost, special vermicompost, and they have fed this Acinetophytida to the birds and animals. Ultimately, they found that they are deposited, heavy metals are deposited in the body cells. Further, they have tested the soil samples from the soil, and where vermicompost was applied and soil where it was not applied, both. Where there was vermicompost was applied, they have taken the soil sample, and where there was no vermicompost was applied, they have taken the soil sample. No heavy metal content was found. They have found that big amount of the heavy metals contained are existed in the soil when where the vermicompost was applied. Where vermicompost was applied, in that soil, heavy quantity of the residues of the cadmium, arsenic, mercury, lead, and all other poisonous heavy metals and residues of the fertilizers and insecticides were found. But in wasteland, the vermicompost was not utilized. There was no found any residues of the fungicide, weedicide, and your fertilizers, insecticide, and heavy metals. This report further shown that the cadmium content in the worm Eosinophyllida was 5.7 ppm, whereas in the soil it was only 0.35 ppm. That means 17 times more than the soil. The content of the lead 27 ppm, zinc 317 ppm, and selenium 10 times more was found in the worm. It was important, I think that it was important research work, very important research work, where they have utilized vermicompost and they have taken the soil samples. They have found large quantity of the poisonous heavy metals and poisonous residues of the chemical agriculture inputs. Where there was no utilization of the vermicompost, there was no residues. Ultimately, it is proved that the residues are coming through the vermicompost. That means in the vermicompost they are existed. And roots are taking. And when the roots are taking, ultimately coming in your body. Ultimately, we lose our immunity. We suffer by the diabetes, cancer, hereditary diseases. This is a very, very, very hazardous chain has been established now by this system. A very hazardous system has been established. 13. Dr. Nelson and Dr. Grisel, Dr. Denin et have shown from their research that Eosinophyllida is a transmitter for the viruses responsible for foot and mouth diseases in the domestic animals. Those viruses which are responsible for foot and mouth disease in the domestic animals are carried. Viruses are carried by Eosinophyllida. Eosinophyllida is a carrier. That means when you utilize vermicompost, compost, cow dung manure, ultimately you become responsible to become the local cow and livestock animal foot and mouth disease. Yeah, what you are doing? This Eosinophyllida transmit many of the parasites and viruses responsible for the animal diseases without affecting the life cycle of their parasites and viruses in the from the body. This is very dangerous thing. It is also noticed that Eosinophyllida is a transmitter of the nematode and tapeworm which destroy the crop. Even this Eosinophyllida which is utilized for vermicompost preparation, very hazardous Eosinophyllida worm, and in that Eosinophyllida body, scientists have seen that Eosinophyllida are transmitter of the nematode and viruses on the crop and tapeworm on the crop will destroy the crops. 14. Dr. Brown and Dr. Mitchell have shown from their research that Eosinophyllida reduce the percentage of the harmful germ Salmonella which create the disease in the poultry. The poultry also suffer by the diseases, and for the diseases this Eosinophyllida is responsible. This is claim has been done by Dr. Brown and Dr. Mitchell. That means this Eosinophyllida is harmful germ Salmonella, store it in the body and deposit in their casting. When the farmers utilize this vermicompost, the germs enter in the human body through the food material and after the human health, and ultimately we suffer by the cancer, diabetes, heart attack. Very hazard, very hazard. तो साथियों, I don't know why they are comparing Subhash Palek Krishi with organic farming. Why? 2,400 crore rupees, a big figure. Hmm. You are the promoter of the compost, vermicompost, and Subhash Palekar is totally different. Then why this? This is the, I think that these are cheating. It is cheating. It is cheating. It is cheating. It is cheating. So it is totally wrong to say Subhash Palekar natural farming is 100% wrong thing. They are telling lie, and to tell lie is not the spiritual, is not the constitution. So it is 100% unconstitutional. They are misguiding nation now. They are misguiding nation. All the officers and scientists are misguiding us, which are involved in this campaign. They are involved in it. Satyu. Even when you utilize cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost on the surface of soil, when you utilize in organic farming, when you utilize cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost on the surface soil, there are two compounds in the compost, vermicompost and cow dung manure: carbonic compounds and nitrogenous compounds. When they get the moisture, ultimately actinomycetes microorganisms degrade, decompose, and when the actinomycetes decompose, the carbonic compound in this manures, cow dung manure, compost, vermicompost, ultimately entire carbon is coming, emitted in the atmosphere, it is released. And when this carbon is coming in the atmosphere, it is oxidized with the organic in the oxygen, in atmospheric oxygen, and carbon dioxide is created. And that carbon dioxide is emitted in the least quantity. It remains in the atmosphere for 120 years. It is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for global warming and climate change. What you are doing? What you are doing? What you are doing? That means when you utilize organic farming, you become responsible for enhancing the global warming and climate change. You become responsible. Even when the actinomycete decompose nitrogenous compounds in the compost, vermicompost and cow dung manure, ammonia is released. Ammonia is a poisonous gas. It remains in the soil. So God has given the contract to convert ammonia into nitrites, and that contract has been given to Nitrosomonas bacteria and Nitrococcus bacteria. And this Nitrosomonas bacteria and Macrococcus bacteria decompose the ammonia and nitrites are created. N-I-T-R-I-T. In the third stage, these nitrites are N-I-T-R-I-T are converted into nitrates, N-I-T-R-A-T, by means of the denitrifying bacteria and Penicillium fungus. Nitrobacteria and Penicillium fungus. Ultimately, these nitrates are again decomposed and free nitrogen is released by denitrifying bacteria and Macrococcus bacteria, and this, when the nitrogen is coming in the atmosphere, it is oxidized in the atmosphere with the atmospheric oxygen, and nitrous oxide is created. That nitrous oxide is emitted, it remains in the atmosphere. It is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for greenhouse gas, global warming and climate change. In the pit of the cow dung manure, in the pit of the compost, vermicompost, the unalgae bacteria start to spoil the compounds, and huge quantity of the methane is released. Huge quantity of methane. is coming in the atmosphere. Methane remains in the atmosphere 20 years. It is not neutralized immediately, and it is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for global warming and climate change. So, it is totally wrong, unconstitutional to utilize Subhash Palekushi as natural farming. Natural farming is not existed in entire world as a model. It is a big fraud. So I request to you to stop this fraud immediately. I request the government of India to give the guideline to the your officers and scientists not to utilize the name natural farming. Stop it. Immediately you have to stop it. Otherwise confusions will be intensified again and again, and there will be no output you will get. No output you will get. No output. So since today we have seen the differences between the natural and another technologies. Subhash Palekushi, in the Subhash Palekushi, none of the cow dung manure is utilized, vermicompost, compost are not utilized, any biofertilizers are not utilized, any organic fertilizers are not utilized, chemical fertilizers are not utilized, and your compost, vermicompost are not utilized, even biodynamic are not utilized, and also any other organic inputs are not utilized. Chemical fertilizers also are not utilized. Chemical insecticides are not utilized. Then nothing is utilized. Nothing is utilized. In Subhash Palekushi, if none of the inputs are utilized, that means the residues of the insecticide, fungicides, weedicides and insecticides and chemical fertilizers and residues of the cadmium, arsenic, mercury, heavy metals are not coming in the residues, are not coming in the soil. Soil does not become the poisonous, and our food become very poison free. There are two challenges. Number one, global warming and climate change, and second one, artificial intelligence. These are the human-made problems, Bhasmasura. They will destroy entire living being. It becomes our commitment to stop it immediately. And Subhash Palekar Krushi mass movement have started this campaign very well. You are invited as a partner of this movement. No entry fee. You take my WhatsApp number. You read then my WhatsApp number. Padma Shri Dr. Subhash Palekar. Padma Shri Dr. Subhash Palekar. My WhatsApp number. Write down my WhatsApp number. 98 50 35 27 45 98 50 35 27 45. 1st and 2nd of the March 2025. 1st and 2nd of the March this year 2025. There are 2-day field visit program. at Nashik, near Shirdi Sai Baba. And you are totally invited there. And you will see the miracle result, miracle model, you will see, not seen anybody. Never, you can never see it in the entire world. And that model you will see. I am inviting you as a partner to visit that model as a part of that field visit program, Shivratri, 1st and 2nd of the March 2025. You have to reach up to evening of the 28th of the February at Shirdi Sai Baba, and you can start your return journey 2nd of the March after 8 p.m. If you want to visit the Sai Baba temple and Nashik Sri Ram Prabhu's Darshanam and Kumbha Snanam, your Kunda Snanam and Trimbakeshwar, you can come one day before. You can observe all these things. We will arrange your program, no problem. Otherwise, you can delay one day, and 3rd of the March you can see, and you can return back. To get all details about this Shivratri and field visit program and my books in English, Hindi, Marathi and all languages, in Tamil language, there are my books in Kannada language, Telugu language, Tamil language, Malayalam language, Gujarati, all books will be available. If you want my books and videos and all information about this field visit program, you please contact to my office. Write down Amit Palekar, 96731 622 40 96731 622 40. Second, Amol Palekar, 988 16 46 930. Again, I would like to repeat, 988 16 46 930. Thanks a lot of you, and next time we will continue. Now we will stop for today only. Thank you.